boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed my video from Monday. I was particularly proud of it. I have a few shout outs. The following people have created their accounts on GoFormative and started doing assignments. Anthony, Abby, Ashley, Cameron, Braden, Honey, Anaya, and Kiera. Thank you guys for getting ahead of the game. Remember, all of your assignments are going to be due on Friday, and I'm going to be giving feedback to you on Friday. You aren't going to have any new videos or assignments on Friday. Fridays are strictly going to be used for me giving you feedback. So if you don't do your assignments, you can't get feedback from me and you don't get credit for the week. So make sure you are logging on to GoFormative, creating your accounts. If you need help doing that, watch my video from last week, or I'm going to show you another way that I can create the account for you and send you out the username and password. So good job, you guys, for going ahead and getting started on GoFormative. As of right now, only 5 people have logged on to iReady. I know that's a little harder to access if you don't have a laptop, but you also have assignments on iReady that you're responsible for. So remember that this is our reality now. Instead of being in the classroom, we are online, and you're responsible for the things that I and your other teachers, excuse me, are posting online. So if you cannot access those things, like I've said before, let me know so we can get something to you, so we can tell you, sorry, my dog started growling. Like I said, let us know if you can't get online for whatever reason to access your work. Let me know so I can communicate that and we can get you something else to work on instead of getting online. I think that's all my announcements. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to be getting a Google number so I can call, text parents from home instead of school. So if you're not doing your assignments, don't be surprised if you get some sort of text from me at the end of the week. So that is my plan for the foreseeable future. If you're not doing your work, I'm going to let your parents know that you're not doing your work. Okay, so let's get into today's lesson. Like I said, we're going to be working on word meanings this week. So we're moving on to connotations and denotations. So like I said, today we are talking about connotation and denotation. And once again, this is one of those concepts that we did not really have a lot of time to really dive in. So whenever we are reading a text, it's all about how we understand what the author is trying to tell us. And the author communicates his message through the connotation of the words and phrases that he or she is using. So our objective for today, I can determine a word's denotation and connotation in a text. So as usual, we are going to go through our lesson, practice a little bit together, and then you are going to get on GoFormative to practice on your own. So whenever we are talking about a word's denotation and connotation, those are two separate meanings. If we have a word and we are referencing its denotation, we are specifically talking about the basic meaning, the dictionary definition of the word. So if I said, I am really hot, that means by a working definition in the dictionary that my temperature is high. Now, if I said Cole Sprouse is such a hottie, that has a different connotation. I don't mean that Cole Sprouse might have a fever. I mean that he looks good. So whenever we're talking about denotation and connotation, we're talking about what the word actually means versus what the word implies or the feelings behind the word when we are using it in context. So a word or phrase can have a positive, negative, or neutral connotation. If it has a neutral connotation, that means it's not really a positive word, it's not a negative word, it doesn't imply any sort of feelings about the context it's talking about. So we have in our example 3 words: requested, asked for, and demanded. So these are 3 words or phrases that we can use to obtain something that we want. So our positive connotation: Ian requested a glass of water. Requested implies that Ian is polite and that he is asking someone in a polite way to give him a glass of water. Ian asked for a glass of water. That's neutral because it doesn't tell us how he asked. What was his tone when he asked for this glass of water? And then our negative connotation: Ian demanded a glass of water. So that doesn't imply that he was asking nicely. That implies that he was asking in such a way that he was being rude. So that is a positive, neutral, and negative way of getting that glass of water, of asking for that glass of water. So a word or phrase connotation also can depend on its context, how it's used in the sentence. Can you guys hear my dogs fighting? All day. So the ice cold water was refreshing on the hot day. So that's a positive connotation because when it's really hot outside, you get a glass of ice water to cool you off. However, the ice cold water made Ian shiver. If the ice cold water is making Ian shiver, that means that Ian is too cold and he doesn't need ice water because that is only making him colder. So whenever you are choosing these words and choosing how you want to use them in the sentence, it is showing a feeling. And you guys have heard the phrase, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So if you are wanting to communicate your message clearly, you have to use the right connotation of a word. All right, so I've used this example before many times. So our denotation for our example is something that does not cost a lot of money. So whenever we are using connotations of this denotation, of the actual meaning, we have to remember that the words we choose will either have a negative, neutral, or positive connotation. So if it is a negative connotation, think of the feelings. How does this word make you feel when you hear it used in the sentence? So the word cheap usually has a negative connotation because if we are talking about a product that we are buying that is cheap, usually it implies that it doesn't cost much, but it's also not very well made. So for example, these cheap headphones fell apart after 2 days. So if we're buying cheap headphones, they're probably not going to last very long. Think of the headphones that we have in our classroom. Those might be cheap because they are broken. Inexpensive is neutral because it doesn't really have a negative or positive connotation. It doesn't imply any feelings about the product. It just lets us know that the product didn't cost very much. So my new headphones were inexpensive. That doesn't say they're great. It doesn't say that they're poorly made. They just didn't cost a lot. And a bargain, that is a positive connotation because it implies something that didn't cost a lot, but it's also a good product. So you got it for a deal, or maybe you got it on sale. So I got my AirPods for a bargain on eBay. So that means I didn't spend a lot on them, but they're still a really good product. So AirPods is a name brand kind of headphone. So if I get it for a bargain, that means I'm still getting a good product, but for not a lot of money. So let's practice. You are going to read each of these pairs of sentences and write a P for the underlined word that has a positive connotation and an N for the word that has the negative connotation. So both words have the same denotation. However, the two words imply different things, so they have different connotations. So look at your hint while you're practicing. Ask yourself, how does this word make me feel? If the word makes you feel good, it probably has a positive connotation. If it makes you feel bad, it has a negative connotation. So number one, our words are contenders and rivals. Number two, mysterious and bewildering. Number three, ridiculous and amusing. Number four, displayed or flaunted. Number five, rashly or boldly. Number six, snickered or chuckled. So you obviously don't have this as a hard copy in front of you, so get a piece of notebook paper to jot down your answers, or if you're really good, you can just remember them in your head. Pause the video, take a second to determine whether it is positive or negative for each word. All right, so number one, we have Ian and Atsuko were contenders or rivals in the story writing contest. So contenders and rivals both mean that they were participating in the story writing contest. However, contender has a more positive connotation, while rivals has the negative connotation. Rival implies that there's negative feelings between the two people participating, while contenders simply means that they are participating in the same contest. Number two, Atsuko was known for her mysterious plots or bewildering plots. Both of these words mean that it is kind of unknown or confusing. However, mysterious has the positive connotation, while bewildering has the negative connotation. Mysterious means you are, it's unknown, but you are curious about it. Bewildering means it is confusing to you. Number three, Ian's characters were ridiculous or amusing. Ridiculous and amusing both mean something might be humorous. However, ridiculous has the negative connotation because ridiculous implies that something is kind of silly or stupid, while amusing is positive because it shows that that something is entertaining. Number four, Ian displayed or flaunted his large vocabulary. Both of these words mean to show. However, displayed is more positive because that just means he's demonstrating his large vocabulary, but flaunting something means you are kind of showing off and being arrogant. So that is negative. Number five, Atsuko's main character behaved rashly or boldly. These are both ways to take action for something, but if you are rash, you are doing an action without thinking of the consequences. But if you're doing something boldly, you are doing it with confidence. So rashly is negative and boldly is positive. In our last example, everyone snickered or chuckled at Itsuko's surprise ending. These are both ways to laugh. Snickered is negative because if you are snickering, you are laughing in a rude way, while chuckle means you are laughing in kind of an amusing way. So here is the guest code to join into today's assignment. this is the last time I'm going to be posting a guest code. Everyone needs to join my classroom. If you haven't done that yet, I will, on my next slide, I'll show you another way that you can join. Here's the guest code. Log in using this information if you still haven't created an account for GoFormative. If you need me to create an account for you, let me know and I can do that. I can create your username and password and send it to whoever you have in PowerSchool, whether mom or dad. I can text it or email it. But if you don't have your own email address and you cannot use somebody else's email address to create an account, I can create it for you. You just have to let me know, okay? So get a hold of me somehow and say, hey, Miss Newton, I don't have a GoFormative account yet. Will you please create one for me? And I will get that to you as soon as possible. I am at my computer pretty much all day until 4 o'clock, like normal. So make sure you guys are not only getting on my assignments, but Mr. Eddy, Mr. Smith, Mr. Schutte, your elective teachers, they all are communicating with you with what you should be doing. So I'm not going to post another video, a new lesson until Monday. So tomorrow on the 9th, I will have a new lesson posted as well. So make sure you are getting on GoFormative every day to make sure you have all of your assignments completed. On Friday, I will be giving everyone feedback on GoFormative and grading your assignments that you did. So I can instantly message you on GoFormative and it will give you all of your feedback, which is really cool. So if it's not completed by Friday, then you're not going to get all of your credit for this week. If you didn't do anything on GoFormative, your parents or guardians will probably be getting a text or an email or a phone call from me to let them know that their scholar isn't doing what they're supposed to do at home. And hopefully I will get a good reason for that, as in we don't have technology or Wi-Fi. Hopefully the reason isn't Johnny is just being lazy and playing Fortnite and has been for a month. That wouldn't be nice. I wouldn't hope to hear that. So I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Get your e-learning assignments done. Check GoFormative. Get on iReady. This all counts for you. And I will give you feedback on Friday and new video on Monday. Love you all. Kisses. Bye-bye.